While Hollywood seems like a well-oiled machine, sometimes things don't always go as planned. Movies get written and cast, a director signs on, the producers come up with the money, and then, poof, it's like they never existed. It happens all the time without anyone noticing, but sometimes a film's release is so overhyped, when it disappears, people are left wondering, what happened? We hope you enjoy this list of movies, and make sure to click subscribe to keep up to date with our new videos every day.
What do they look like, Jimmy?
Dorks. They look like a couple of dorks.
Quentin's lost movie. In the early 80s, a young, aspiring filmmaker was working at a video store in Los Angeles, and at the same time, writing, directing, and starring in his first feature film. You might know him today as Quentin Tarantino, the master director behind films such as Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs, Kill Bill, and Django Unchained, just to name a few. While those movies are beloved by fans everywhere, this first film, titled My Best Friend's Birthday, faced a slightly different fate. Made for around $5,000, the film about a man just trying to do a nice thing for his best friend's birthday would never be seen by fans. 36 minutes of the 70-minute film were destroyed when the film lab caught fire. The remaining footage is out there for fans to dig up and has been shown at some film festivals, but was never given the release the director was hoping for. While it clearly didn't do too much damage to Tarantino's career, the loss must have been devastating to a young director who had sunk all of his money into the project.
You know what I'm saying?
It's an interesting point.
Who knows? Maybe after he wraps the upcoming Once Upon a Time in Hollywood with its star-studded cast, he'll make his cinephile fans' dreams come true and finish his first film for good. The Dark Universe Debacle. There must be enormous pressure these days for studios to compete with the box office domination of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. DC has tried to bring its comic book heroes to the screen, but aside from Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight trilogy and a couple of other stragglers, they just can't seem to hit the mark. Universal Studios had planned a similar crossover film franchise with the remaking of some of their most classic monsters, such as the Wolfman, Dracula, Frankenstein, the Mummy, Invisible Man, and the Creature from the Black Lagoon. They got so excited about the idea that Universal actually released a trailer featuring cuts of the original black and white films and a Dark Universe logo complete with an operatic Danny Elfman theme song, and a photoshopped picture of all the stars who would supposedly helm the franchise. Unfortunately, the hype was supposed to kick off after the release of an updated The Mummy with Tom Cruise in 2017, but stalled immediately when the movie was ill-received. The Dark Universe disappeared faster than the Invisible Man. It's a promising idea, and who knows? Like Frankenstein, maybe it'll get a second life in the end.
And it's time that we break from the past!
Divergent disaster. The Divergent franchise started out strong as a competitor to the immense power of the Hunger Games, but could never quite seem to stack up. While it did well at the box office and garnered an impressive and loyal fan base, box office returns began to peter out after the second installment. The series, following a group of teenagers in a dystopian future, was adapted from a very popular series of young adult fiction. The films featured an excellent cast and lots of action, but lacked the direction and drive to maintain steam for the third film, Allegiant. Allegiant was actually the final book in the series, but like other best-selling adaptations before it, the studio had planned to split it into two films. While breaking up one book into two movies worked well for The Hunger Games and Harry Potter, Allegiant had such a terrible time in theaters that what would have been the fourth movie, Ascendant, was quietly taken off the Lionsgate release schedule. In an effort to finish off the series, the studio announced that Ascendant would be released as a TV movie, but in August of 2017, it was announced that Starz would be taking on the project, this time as a series. Unfortunately for fans, Shailene Woodley has declined to join the cast on the small screen.
A bit overwhelmed, I'm still processing it all.
Princess Diana doc drama. The public continues to revere the late Princess of Wales, so much so that there was a documentary made investigating her alleged murder once again. It was also financed by business magnate Mohammed Al Fayed, the father of Dodi, the man who was also killed in the accident with the princess. Mohammed has long maintained that their death was planned by the crown, which resulted in huge problems for the release of the documentary. It was actually completed and screened at the 2011 Cannes Film Festival, but because of its claims that the royal family is responsible for the murders and the subsequent cover-up, the UK censors had a field day. They demanded 87 cuts to be made to the film before it would be released, and there wasn't much better luck for it in the United States. It can be found online, however, for those curious about the enduring conspiracy. World War Nope. Based off of a best-selling series by Max Brooks, son of Mel, World War Z had an already huge fan base and support from one of the most powerful actors in Hollywood, Brad Pitt. Pitt actually won the movie rights for his production company Plan B in a bidding war against Leonardo DiCaprio and his company, Appian Way. But just when it seemed like nothing could go wrong, everything went wrong. There was nothing but trouble during production, with 4 different writers being hired and fired, a director unfamiliar with a special effects-heavy story, a cinematographer who reportedly asked to leave on multiple occasions, an entire third act that had to be reshot, a Hungarian anti-terrorism raid that confiscated 85 prop guns, and more.
Nah, you know what's going on?
Nah, man, I don't know anything.
It's crazy.
Despite all of this trouble, the movie still opened to almost $500 million. And with that success in mind, a sequel was announced to great hype. With David Fincher reportedly attached, there was new hope for this second installment. Unfortunately, because of scheduling conflicts from both Pitt and Fincher, and the mediocre reviews from the first movie, it looks like World War Z 2 might die, and unlike a zombie, it'll stay that way. The Final Friday? Jason Voorhees, the serial killer and lead character of the Friday the 13th franchise, has been on the move for 38 years and 12 movies. While he seems nearly unstoppable, the same may not be said for his movies. While there was plenty of recent hype over a 13th Friday the 13th movie, it seems that Jason may be floating around in pre-production limbo for the foreseeable future. After going through multiple possible scripts, from an 80s throwback by Hannibal writer Nick Acosta to a prequel written by Aaron Guzikowski of Prisoners, ideas were pitched and then rejected. Finally, despite the promise of these up-and-coming horror writers, the movie was removed from the Paramount release schedule in 2017. The last few iterations of the franchise haven't performed as well at the box office, and the latest version in 2009 was met with mediocre reviews. Many believe that to be the reason why the film has been shelved. Recent rumors suggest that there may be possible interest by producer Jason Blumhouse of Blumhouse Productions. Unfortunately, due to red tape and rights to the franchise, these are still just rumors.
How long have we been chasing this thing?
Long time.
Real long time.
Uncharted territory. In this day and age, it seems more and more that video games and virtual reality might be taking over where Hollywood and movie making used to reign supreme. Nothing like the possibility of being overshadowed motivates producers more, and to them, the next logical step is to adapt these uber-popular games into films, hoping that they'll bring their fan bases with them to the box office. Unfortunately, these adaptations don't seem to be living up to expectations, with the exception of cult hits Scott Pilgrim vs. the World and the Angelina Jolie Lara Croft movies. Even the megastars attached and huge budgets can't save them. From Assassin's Creed with Michael Fassbender, to Max Payne with Mark Wahlberg and Mila Kunis, to 2016's Warcraft, and more. These films just can't seem to hit the mark. But that didn't stop producers from attempting to develop Uncharted into a film, going so far as to attach writer Joe Carnahan to the project in 2016. Unfortunately for fans and filmmakers alike, Sony removed Uncharted from its release schedule only months after hyping up the film to be the next Indiana Jones. All hope may not be lost, though, as a mysterious and since deleted Instagram post by Tom Holland seemed to hint that he may be starring.
I'm known to be quite vexing. I'm just forewarning you.
Ladies, shut up!
Gotham City Sadness. Oh, Suicide Squad. A classic tale of the end result not being able to live up to the enormous hype surrounding a film's release. The film just couldn't deliver on everything it had promised, and left hopeful fans everywhere disappointed. Despite all of that, the universally agreed upon standout was Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn, and Warner Brothers jumped on the opportunity to capitalize on her character. They signed a deal with her and announced a spin-off adaptation of Gotham City Sirens, the comic series featuring Harley and other favorites Catwoman and Poison Ivy. With Robbie set to executive produce as well as star, and David Ayer back in the director's chair, things seem to be moving along. But after the slightly disastrous Justice League, the DC Extended Universe was given a big overhaul. Gotham City Sirens was shelved, but fans of Harley Quinn can take heart in the fact that her standalone movie called Birds of Prey was just announced, with newcomer Kathy Yan directing.
Wow, like what's... Oh, like, way to go, Spaz!
Valley Girl gone? The 1983 movie Valley Girl that starred Nicolas Cage and Deborah Foreman quickly became a cult classic and remains so to this day. The story of a romance between a popular Valley girl named Julie and a Hollywood punk named Randy, it's a fun, campy movie that seemed perfect for a modern reboot. With a stellar ensemble cast featuring Mae Whitman and Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. star Chloe Bennett, the film completed production in 2017. But even a movie that has already been shot can run into problems. And for this one, they were just about to start. The movie also featured YouTube star Logan Paul in a supporting role. And little did they know this social media entertainer would be their downfall. The highly public and questionable antics of Paul would cause the studio to yank it from its release date and replace it. It seems the studio didn't want to be associated with Paul, who came under fire for recording a visit to the famed Aokigahara forest in Japan, which is also known as Suicide Forest. Logan's disrespectful filming and mocking of a body found in the forest erupted in public outrage, and the film was shelved, presumably until the controversy quiets down, or Logan is replaced.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you will, look right here.
21 Men in Black Street. The fabled Men in Black / 21 Jump Street movie sounded like it had everything going for it to smash the box office and delight fans for both franchises everywhere. Originally, the studio had planned to use the recent enthusiasm for the Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill reboot to launch the triumphant return of Men in Black, combining the hilarious antics of our favorite cops with the aliens and charisma of our favorite Galaxy Defenders.
That's weird, guys.
But it seems some things are meant to remain a dream, as it was confirmed by Jonah Hill that the crossover movie would not be happening after all, and it was removed from the release schedule. Despite this, fans of Men in Black will have a new film to look forward to in 2019, as a spin-off was recently announced. Sadly, it is most likely that Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones will not be coming back for the new one, as this spin-off will take the franchise in a new direction. Here's hoping for a couple of cameos at least.
Man, I couldn't believe that.
Well, there you have it. 10 movies hyped up by studios that may never see the light of day. What did you think of this list? Are we missing some movies that you had been dying to see? Which one of these 10 would you have loved to see in theaters? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to hit that red subscribe button. Thanks for watching.